Crocodile in the house.
Gav number 2.
Clackers, clackers, clackers. I feel very fortunate to be able to call Clarkey one of my best mates. He was always putting everyone before himself and going above and beyond to help others in everything he did. As a band, we owe him everything, and we classed him the 5th member of this band. He was a major part of everything we did, and without a doubt, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be back together doing what we love the most. Clarkey had an effect on everyone he crossed paths with, from all ages. He taught my 3-year-old son at the time what the volume knob was on the car stereo. Clarkey would point to him and ask, "What does this knob do, Coops?" And he would reply, "Turn it up, make it loud." And a grin would come across Clarkey. Even as late as last Sunday, he was still putting others first. We were on email because we were about to start a tour in a couple of weeks. And he was asking if there was anything he could do to help. And I replied, "No, mate, just focus on getting better and get back to what you do best." One comment I saw during the week was so true, and it read, "I've never met anyone else who loves and applies so much passion to their craft." I had a laugh with a couple of people during the week, and we were saying, whenever the phone would ring and it was Clarkey, we knew that we could kiss away and put aside a good hour. After one of the many recording sessions we did with him on the coast, I said to him when we got home, "I've got a few things to do in the morning, and I'll call back home and get you and drop you to the airport." When I returned, he was sitting on the kitchen bench, looking shaken and distressed. And I said, "Clackers, what's the matter?" And he explained how he stepped off the top step of my staircase with a new pair of socks on and rolled and crashed all the way to the bottom of the staircase, and was concerned that he smashed a hole in my wall rather than if he was okay. We then had a laugh. We took him to the airport, and I said, "I'll speak to you this afternoon." That night, my little guy asked, "Dad, what happened to the wall?" And I explained what Clarkey did, and he looked at me and he said, "Dad, is Clarkey all right?" And this became something he would do all the time when passing the repaired hole in the wall. And after about 6 months, he hadn't mentioned it at all. And only last night, we walked up the stairs and he had a laugh. He pointed to the wall. He said, "Dad, is Clarkey all right?" I hugged him, held it together, and said, "Yeah, mate, Clarkey's doing just fine." Many more stories will be told for a long time, more suited after a few beers and definitely a later time slot. Mate, I will miss you and be grateful for all the time that we shared, along with a couple of the most important things you taught us. One was how to do 360s in a hire car in a McDonald's car park with a takeaway truck. And he still holds the record. The other one was a famous quote, "If it wasn't supposed to be flashing in the red, they would have made it a different colour."
Let's say one quick thing about Greg that you've already probably heard, you're going to hear it again and again, is just how smart he was. And I came down here a couple of years ago to do some mixing with him for round 1 of an album that we recorded, and I had an idea for something, but he was so smart I couldn't even tell him about it. I had to wait for him to come up with the idea because I was just too embarrassed to think that he wouldn't think of it before me. Love you, Greg. Always onto it.